Peoria City Council meeting will now come to order. Please pause for a moment of silence and rise while the Girl Scout Troop 1252 will post the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard attention. Color guard advanced. Color guard, post your colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed. You may be seated.
Thank you. That was Girl Scout Troop 1252. And if you wouldn't mind coming to the podium, girls, and introducing yourself, I would appreciate it. You did a great job. We are really happy that you're here this evening. Just tell us your name.
I'm Katie. Cassie.
Aaliyah.
Kayla. Lizzie. Sierra. Haley. Audrey.
Jaden.
Thank you very much. You guys did a great job tonight, and we really appreciate it. And if you would like to see yourself on TV, you can watch yourself on Channel 11 any night at 7 o'clock, or you can stream it live on your computer at any time. Thank you again. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mayor Carlett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Bensbacher.
Here.
Councilmember Patena.
Here.
Councilmember Finn.
Here.
Councilmember Hunt.
Here.
Councilmember Leone.
Here.
Council Liaison Bowden.
Here.
And Council Liaison Camacho.
Here.
Good evening and welcome to the Peoria City Council meeting of September 8th, 2015. The first item on our agenda this evening is a presentation of certificates to appointments for boards and commission members. I'd like to invite Councilmember Patena to join me on the floor. He is the council chair for the subcommittee for boards and commissions. We have the honor of welcoming two new members to our boards and commissions, and Councilmember Patena, as the chair, is going to start us off.
Thank you, Mayor. As you've heard me say before, we have 23 boards and commissions, and we have over 100 people that serve on those boards and commissions, and they help us in a wide array of services and expertise. We are very grateful. They save us tens of thousands of dollars every year, services that we would otherwise have to pay for. So tonight, we're actually have 4 new members to our boards and commissions, but tonight we have 2 that are here. So I'd like to call your name and have you come down and accept your certificate. First one is Sarah Wenrick from the Youth Advisory Board. And the next one is Charles Bruin for Library Board.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine or have been previously reviewed by the City Council. They will be enacted by one motion unless a member of the council requests that an item be removed from the consent agenda. Tonight, there is a public hearing on the consent agenda. So if there is any member of the public who would like to speak to an item that is on the consent agenda, that is a public hearing, you can find a speaker request form right next to the podium. If you will fill that out and place it in the bin, we will call upon you to address this item. I have no public speaker request forms at this time. Are there any items to be removed from consent from council? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Please vote. It is unanimous. We will now move on to new business. Item 14R, intergovernmental agreement, City of Glendale Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant expansion.
Thank you, Mayor
Swenson?
Carlett. Just a little bit ago in our study session, we were talking about the importance of water planning and assuring an adequate supply of water for growth for build out of our community. And just to point is this item, and I'll turn it over to Bill Mattingly, our Public Works and Utilities Director.
Thank you, Carl, Mayor and Council. This is an important project for the City of Peoria, and as we talked about in the study session where we talked about our overall water supply, we talked about wet water, as opposed to legal water or paper water. Wet water means having the facilities to treat and deliver that water, and that's what we're talking about here with this water treatment plant expansion. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike to talk about some of the high-level things on this intergovernmental agreement between the City of Peoria and the City of Glendale.
All right, thank you, Bill. Yeah, as Bill mentioned, this is an item that is the intergovernmental agreement for the expansion of the Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant. That plant is currently a jointly owned facility. It is owned by the City of Glendale as well as the City of Peoria. We have about 23% of that capacity. Current capacity is 48 MGD, million gallons per day. 23% of that gives us a little over 11 million gallons per day. And as you noted in the study session, we are looking forward and looking toward expanding that facility. The plant itself is located north of Joe Max Road on 67th Avenue. It's actually located on property that is within the city of Phoenix. That facility treats our Central Arizona Project allocation. You see also a plant that is called out there as our Greenway facility. That is our surface water treatment plant that treats the other surface water allocation, which is our Salt River project. We have a small facility in Quintero as well. We have a long background with the city of Glendale with this facility. Going back to 1986, the facility was originally commissioned at 10 million gallons per day. We entered into an agreement in 1996, which gave us 6 million gallons per day of the then expanded capacity of 26 million gallons per day. In 1998, we entered into an agreement that actually provided for the treatment and transportation of water of our own CAP allocation that was treated at that facility. 2005, there were some modifications that involved a new reservoir and ultimately led to a re-rating of that facility to its current capacity of 48 MGD, 37 of which is the Glendale capacity, and as I've noted before, the 11 million gallons per day is our current capacity. 2015, as part of our discussions and evaluation of that facility, we have looked at that facility in depth and have determined that its reliable and resilient capacity is 39 million gallons per day. That's due to changes in water quality requirements and some observed water quality events on the Central Arizona Project Canal that we've seen historically over time. Key provisions of this IGA are that it will expand the water treatment plant. It will take place to coincide with some other planned improvements that are going to be addressed at the facility. This expansion will continue to treat Peoria's own CAP allocation. We will not be relying on the capacity or the allocation of the city of Glendale. This is our own CAP water that we'll be treating. The expanded capacity will be 54 MGD. Of that 54 MGD, the city of Peoria will have 24 MGD, million gallons per day, for a net gain of our capacity of 13 million gallons per day. The expansion cost estimate is around $50 million. Our sources of supply come from the Greenway Water Treatment Plant, which treats the SRP water. This expansion at the Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant, where we treat our CAP allocation. We also have wells that we use to recover stored water, as well as a small component of groundwater itself, and we have reclaimed water for non-potable uses. This slide may look familiar. It adds a little bit of detail in that it breaks up some of the types of surface water into smaller components and types of CAP water. But we do have a diversified portfolio of resources that entails the two types of surface water that I've mentioned. CAP is the largest component of our surface water and is why we are looking to expand that facility to put it to even greater use. We do have sufficient water for build-out, and the future focus as we move forward in time and develop further will be on treatment and delivery infrastructure. This slide demonstrates what our total water use now is, about 30,000 acre-feet. This is looking ahead at future situations that build out. You can see that the water use has climbed to 80,000 acre-feet. This expansion project at the Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant is one of the ways that we're going to fill that gap in our treatment and delivery needs. The benefits of this expansion are simply that this will increase our capacity. It will allow for future growth. It will maximize a renewable resource, which is that CAP surface water allocation. It continues to build on the long-standing relationship that we have with the City of Glendale at that facility, and continues to improve on an already existing economy of scale, and is a very cost-effective method to garner additional capacity. So with that, I'll turn it over for any questions you may have.
Mayor, I have one other thing to add, and it's a very important point, and that is that this expansion, this project, is included in the city's current capital improvement program. The capital improvement program is a fully funded program using our current rate structures, and some of this capacity would be paid for through expansion fees to serve future growth. So the point is, this will not require a rate increase to take on this large project.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Council, do you have any questions? You know, this is a really big deal. This is huge. It's allowing. It's the next step in allowing for growth as our city continues to, in a very orderly fashion, move north. And we are continuing to move north in an orderly fashion with our infrastructure and our capabilities for delivering water to our citizens, no matter how far up they go. So thank you for getting this done, for getting this, in such a timely fashion so that we are prepared. The next house that moves in, they will have something to drink. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 15R, Affiliate Event Funding
Mayor?
Request Fiscal Year 2016.
Excuse me, Mayor. Do we want to go ahead and vote on that item?
Oh, excuse me. Yes, I would like to vote on that. Council, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Please vote. It's unanimous. Got ahead of myself there. All right, and now we'll move on to 15R, Affiliate Event Funding Request Fiscal Year 2016. Mr.
Thank you,
Svensson.
Mayor. You bet. And as the council is well aware, we have a number of special events in the community that the city supports and funds each year in a variety of different categories. And as you know, one of the categories we call affiliate events, and that's where community groups can make proposals to the city where we can help defray some of the costs of the events that they will put on. We partner with them. And so what we have in this item is a presentation of those entities that have submitted requests for funding for the coming year in that affiliate event category. So I'll turn it over to John Sefton, our Community Services Director, for this one.
Thank you, Mr. Swenson, and good evening, Mayor Carlett and council members. I am happy to introduce tonight Kelly Kincaid in her new role as Recreation Manager. And it's her new role to keep me out of any trouble tonight as we go through this presentation. But in all seriousness, this item is are seeking your support and approval of affiliated event funding for 5 different events. The FY16 budget includes a $60,000 allocation intended for this purpose. Over the past 2 fiscal years, the city has supported a couple of different events. The Northwest Black History Committee received funding to support the Multicultural Music Festival in both 2014 and 2015. And earlier this year, in 2015, we supported the United Cultural Organization with the 2-week display of the Chinese Lantern Festival. Now this year, the Northwest Black History Committee has again requested funding. However, staff has scheduled time to meet with them to discuss their proposals, and I'm not prepared to make a recommendation for that event at this time. But for these 5, I'll provide a quick overview of the 5 that have submitted requests and we deem as appropriate for affiliate funding. The first, to be held October 3rd at Centennial Plaza from 9 to noon, the Old World Oktoberfest in Peoria. Now in its 10th year, previously held in downtown Peoria, the organizing group has sought out partnerships with Peoria. Recognizing the unique cultural experience and the tradition this event promotes, staff recommends the funding of $11,400 to cover all city-related fees, rent, permits, etc., as well as staff time and expanded marketing. And while there's a lot of activities going on, the Alphorn blowing competition is something I surely do not want to miss. The 2015 Volksstock event will be held November 6th through 8th at Pioneer Community Park. This is a unique opportunity for the city to partner with a major dealership from our Bell Road Auto Row and support an event that features quality entertainment and a collection of vintage and new Volkswagens. Lundy's Peoria Volkswagen has supported the tradition of VW enthusiasts gathering for fun and festivities, all the while supporting the VW brand and its beloved community. The $3,000 request for Volksstock 2015 will cover city-related fees, rents and permits, as well as city staff and expanded marketing. The Light Horse Legacy Foundation is sponsoring the Take Me Home Huey exhibition during the Veterans Day celebration and has submitted a request for $8,000. This mixed media sculpture will be on display at the Rio Vista Recreation Center from November 5th through the 8th in concert with the Veterans Day celebrations and our annual 5K run. The financial support will aid in the logistics of the display, as well as an opening arts reception and ceremony. The exhibition will also include the filming of a documentary to encourage interest in aviation, to commemorate the Vietnam War, and to promote the healing of Americans of all conflicts who suffer from the effects of PTSD. And the inaugural Copper Hills Four Peak Challenge is sponsored by the Copper Hills Church in the West Wing community. This event will feature a family and community activity to challenge participants to traverse Peoria's four mighty hills: Sunrise, Calderwood Butte, East Wing, and West Wing, all on November 14th. The church is requesting $3,000 to support the event, which will include the city staff and services, facility rental fees, permits, and again, expanded marketing. West Wing Park, along with the newly completed Copper Hills campus, will play host to the base camp for the hikers, along with the after party with food, music, and of course, fun. And that's a $3,000 request for support. And the fifth event is an opportunity, with all the hikers taken care of, we need to now move on to the mountain bikers. And with all of that happening, we have an opportunity to partner with Maricopa County, their Parks and Recreation Department, and their nonprofit Maricopa Trail and Park Foundation on the Prickly Pedal, a heart-pumping, rip-roaring ride through the desert terrain of the Maricopa Trail, which will actually begin in Peoria at Lake Pleasant and converse all the way across to Cave Creek. The $20,000 request will support with city staff time and support for logistics, as well as sponsorship, event marketing, and branding. So in summary, the FY 2016 budget includes an allocation amount of $60,000 for affiliate event funding support, staff in working with the myriad of event promoters, as well as nonprofit groups to set today's council date as a goal to have affiliate requests in. These 5 events occur relatively quickly, and your action of support will benefit and enhance the programs. However, each appear to be self-sufficient and are prepared to execute the events without city funding. Each of these events are new to Peoria, and in staff's opinion, augment the opportunities for our community to engage, experience, and enjoy a multitude of diversity and uniquely city-supported activities. Other requests for the remaining budget may come on a future council agenda. And with that, we'll do our best to respond to any questions, and we do have a number of the event coordinators, promoters here in the audience, and I believe a couple have submitted a request to speak, but we'd certainly be hopeful to answer any of your questions here. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, questions or comments? Well, we do have some requests to speak. The first one is Mr. Wolfgang Klein of the Oktoberfest. If you have some words that you would like to say, we would love to have you come down to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. My name is Wolfgang Klein, actually.
Klein.
And I'm one of the founders of the Arizona Center for Germanic Cultures. It's basically an organization that hopes to spread the word about where we all came from. This particular part is from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, a German-speaking part of Europe. And this is our first Oktoberfest in Peoria. We are fabulously looking forward to this on October the 3rd, and this from noon to 9 p.m. You had that reversed a little bit, but that's okay. And there will be wonderful beer brats and, of course, also stuff for the kids. And all of this in a big tent, sort of like what Munich is trying to do for the last 110 years, and we're trying to do this in Peoria for the first time. Thank you very much for your support, and we hope to see you on October 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in regards to any of these events? All right, seeing none, then I would just like to make a couple comments. I think these are some tremendous events, and the one for Veterans Day, the Take Me Home Huey is a tremendous event, and it's something brand new for us. And the iconic Huey helicopter is actually going to be here at Rio Vista Park, and that's very exciting. And the work that they do for PTSD is tremendous. And they're going to have, you know, some information there for people who want to come and who might need to access some of those resources. And the Maricopa County Prickly Petal on the Maricopa Trail is just beginning. This is its first year, and they are starting at Lake Pleasant, which is very exciting. But it's going to go as the Maricopa County Trail system enlarges. This event is going to enlarge. So right now it's just going to go for one segment, but in the future they're envisioning this to be a at least three-day event, sort of a Tour de France, Tour de Maricopa, Tour de Maricopa. And so then each city that it goes through can sort of showcase all of their own assets, and of course, hopefully it will always start at Lake Pleasant, and that's a great asset for us. And also, I do see that there are some representatives from Copper Hills Community Church here this evening, and this is a brand new event for us, and it really takes advantage of all of the people who like to hike and bike and use our mighty trails, if you will, in the northern part of the city. So I'm really excited to see you, as I knew that you always would be a great community asset and joiner in our community. So these are really great. All of these are really great events, and I'm happy that you presented these to us tonight. Any other comments, council? All right, this time I'm going to go ahead and ask for a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. It's unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is call to the public for non-agenda items, and I have no speaker request forms. So we are going to move on to reports from City Manager. Mr. Swenson?
Thank you, Mayor Carlett. Just one report under my section this evening, but it's an important one. As council is well aware, we are accredited in all of the areas of municipal service delivery where accreditations exist. And one of the first accreditations that the city had was for police. The CALEA group has the accreditation process for police departments. This year we were up for our reaccreditation. So we went through that process, and not only did we receive reaccreditation, but we are now recognized for a gold standard, which is new within CALEA. And so I'll turn it over to Chief Roy Minter. Roy?
Thank you, Carl. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As I'm sure you recall, back in April of 2015, a team of assessors from CALEA, which is the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, conducted an on-site assessment examining all aspects and all areas of the Peoria Police Department. This included an assessment of the department's policies, procedures, management, operations, and support services. During this assessment, the assessors reported that the department was in full compliance with all 480 CALEA standards. We're proud of the fact that this is our 7th reaccreditation. The department has been accredited since 1997, but this one was very special for us because not only did we get reaccredited, not only did we receive a meritorious reaccreditation, but we also received the gold standard accreditation. So I've asked Sharon Robertson, our accreditation manager, to kind of give you an overview of exactly what the gold standard accreditation actually involves.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Swenson. The gold standard assessment was introduced in 2011 as a new methodology for assessing law enforcement agencies. It's a voluntary process. We decided in 2015 that we were finally ready for that process, that we were mature enough in the accreditation process to put ourselves through that. The gold standard assessment focuses primarily on processes and outcomes. Instead of assessors coming and going through paper files day by day, they come around and they talk to people. These assessors talk to approximately 150 members of our agency and the community. We found it a really authentic and in-depth review of our agency. The assessors were very impressed with the City of Peoria and the Peoria Police Department. The accreditation process really gave us an outside lens. We opened ourselves up to scrutiny from the outside, gave us an accountability measure for organizational growth and professional development. We're the second Arizona agency behind Chandler to receive the top marks from CALEA, and everyone, the entire team of the agency should be very proud that it reflects so highly on our organization and the city as a whole.
And just as a quick overview, when we were in Colorado Springs for reaccreditation, 137 agencies were up for reaccreditation. Out of those 137 agencies, only 15 received gold standard accreditation. So as you can tell, it's not an easy process. It's a very exhaustive process. And in order to complete the process, you have to have an excellent accreditation manager, someone who's willing to fully commit themselves to not just maintenance of the standards, but also monitoring compliance of the standards, and then preparing the department for the reaccreditation process. So we're very proud of the fact that we believe that we have not just the most knowledgeable, but the hardest working and the absolute best accreditation manager in the world. So I owe all the credit to Sharon and all the hard work she put into this process in allowing us to become only the second agency in the entire state to receive gold standard accreditation.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're very proud.
And certainly CALEA has the largest certificate of any of the agencies. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to reports from City Council, and we'll start with Youth Council Liaison Bowden.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned at the Peoria Fire and Medical Seminar. And I was so intrigued to learn how different departments are so intricately related, and they all relate so closely to the lives of Peoria residents. And so as we talk more about utilities and public works, I'm excited to see how we can integrate those things further and make a higher standard of living for Peoria residents. So I'm really impressed with all the reports and behind the scenes stuff that goes into seminars and meetings like this. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Binsbacher.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I want to thank staff for helping to make the citizens of the Mesquite District a priority in the redesign of an existing median on Vistancia Parkway. So it's always been kind of a scary intersection there coming out of Trilogy and of great importance to our retirement community. And after looking at the traffic studies, we determined this was absolutely the best solution for today and the current traffic situation there. And the response I'm getting from the constituents in the Mesquite District, particularly in the Vistancia area, is very, very positive. So I'm really excited about that. It's almost done, and the landscaping that we had to pull out is going to be repurposed in another area. So it was a great collaborative effort. I also want to expand on that seminar that council members went to on the 29th of August to learn from Peoria Fire and Medical. And there's never been a doubt how seriously they take their role and what their commitment is. But to take an inside, up close look at what they're doing and the commitment to training and development was just unbelievable. And what they're doing at a local level, onto a national level as agencies to work together to do amazing work in our communities. There's just no doubt that Peoria is committed to putting our citizens first and their safety first. And we have a lot to do as we grow, but it's very exciting, and I was very proud to be a part of that. Also, more about public safety. I have to say about Peoria PD that I remember there was mention here with regards to the certification, or the accreditation rather, and the status about the UCAN group. And I remember when that group first came to life way back when, and it was a handful of community leaders, and now you go and it's just unbelievable the movement that has become UCAN in bringing the community together, and it's taking community policing and engaging our community partners and our citizens to a whole nother level, and I'm thrilled to have seen that evolve. So it is just a great tribute to you, Chief Minter, your command staff, your officers, all of the staff, in just representing Peoria so well. With that being said, we're getting ready to host a Coffee with a Cop in the Mesquite District, and they've done those in other parts of Peoria, so all citizens are welcome to come regardless of what district you live in. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Patena.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to congratulate the chief and Sharon, your accreditation manager, for getting accredited and reaching the gold standard. I know that we have several departments in this city that have special accreditations, and I know for a fact that those are not easy to obtain. And in effect, what that does is it makes us have a better city, and that reflects on how we treat our citizens in this city. So congratulations to you again, Chief, and to all of our city departments that have special accreditations. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I want to again congratulate the young girls for doing our Pledge of Allegiance. It's so important to see the youth coming together for important issues, and I just encourage you young ladies to get engaged in more city-involved issues. It's so important that you guys get involved at an early age, because at some time you could be sitting up here as a youth member as well in the future. So anything we can do from a council perspective to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I had the distinct honor of going to the City of Peoria Community Service Appreciation Night over at Harkins on the 27th, and it's just phenomenal, the number of volunteers that come out year after year to help this city in all of the different departments. I've been doing it for 3 years, and it just seems like the numbers keep leap and bounding the number from the previous year. It's so encouraging to see all of the residents come out and really want to make a difference. So I want to thank staff for putting on that event. The movie, I didn't stay for the entire movie, but it was pretty good. But the award ceremony was phenomenal, even though I did get a little tired running up and down, passing out gift certificates. And then on Sunday, I did stop by the First Responders Adult and Youth Triathlon over at Sunrise Mountain and watched the swimming, the running, and the biking. And the numbers there are growing too. So again, the special events coming into the city is just a testament to community services, what events you guys are bringing into the city. So I want to thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Finn.
Just a couple things. Thank the Girl Scout troop. I believe it's 1252. Thank you so much for coming in and doing our pledge for us. Want to thank the fire department and staff for their giving up their Saturday morning to educate us on a lot of interesting things that I actually had no idea about. So I learned a lot and realized how poor I would be at doing CPR, unfortunately, so I need to get certified on that. But thank you. That was incredibly, incredibly informative and extremely well done. And I know it's tough to give up a Saturday, but I personally appreciated it more than you will know. Congrats to PD on your award. That's fantastic. I know we have a great police department here, and that award just kind of puts a little cherry right on top of it. We already knew it, but it's nice to have that award, and congratulations. I know you guys worked hard. So that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. Councilmember Hunt.
Well, I could ditto many of the things that have already been said. The fire medical morning was really impressive, and like my counterpart here, they do so many things that I don't think any of us really realize, and the amount, the hundreds of hours of training that these guys have. Some of them could be doctors by now if they had gone to medical school instead of putting all those hours into what the specific area that they wanted to serve in. And if you ever have an emergency, they will tell you over and over, call 911. Don't say, oh, this is not so big a deal. Call them. And I think you'll be very happy. The Harkins was a real treat. I, too, did not stay for, what was it, Fast and Furious or something? It just wasn't my kind of movie. But I certainly did enjoy Councilman Edwards watching him run up and down the aisles. And he has no room to complain about that. He loved every second of it. I saw him timing himself, and he had his thing on his belt that was just checking his mileage. So, and Kelly, wherever you are, maybe you left, she did a great job putting that together with her staff. Police, as always, you guys make us shine. We appreciate it. I, too, really appreciate the UCAN meetings. I love going to those. And then I think that for all we've said, we really need to thank Carl, because this team is your team. That's your responsibility. As the head guy in the city, you hire these people, and you certainly seem to have an uncanny knack for hiring really good people, and then for keeping them in line if they need it. I don't know what your secret is, but if the buck is going to stop anywhere, it stops at the top, and I think that's a good place for it to stop here. Locally here, oh, and I'm so excited about all these festivals that are coming. Thank you, those of you that chose to have it here. I know some of you are local people, the church and so on. This makes sense. This is where you would have it. But I think it speaks volumes to our city that we're open to have so many of these festivals, and to our citizens that they eat this up. They love whether it's biking or just watching or the Oktoberfest, whatever it is. Our residents love it. And so thank you all for putting these together in our city. Acacia District, our community garden is still going great with the plants. Several of you have said, I don't really see anything growing there. Well, that's because we haven't planted yet. The manure and everything has to sit for a while and be watered and get just right organically. And so our planting date is September 19th. It's a week from this Saturday, and any of you are welcome to come out and watch, to help somebody stick a plant in the ground or whatever you'd like to do to just cheer our planters along. And with that, I'll say goodnight.
Thank you. Councilmember Leone?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First thing I want to say is that I want to thank the Girl Scouts for coming down. They did a great job, and it's always a pleasure to see them here. I wasn't a Girl Scout, I was a Boy Scout, but I have 4 daughters that were Girl Scouts. So it's always great that you come to these meetings and present the flag. I think it's just great, and you do a great job with them. Thank you. Also, I went to the volunteer night at the Hackers Theater, and you know, it's just something that we do every year, and we give awards out, and volunteer appreciation at the Hackers Theater. Awards are given out, and the Park and Recreation, and we had lots of raffles, and it was a great job that Parks and Recreation done. And you know, it's always good to have volunteers, because the hours they put in and the money that the city saves. So if anybody wants to volunteer, just contact the city clerk's office, and she'll turn you on to where to go for to be a volunteer. The last thing I want to say is that I hope everybody had a great holiday. We have 4 days off. We had 4 days off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so we all had a good time, and my 4 daughters came in from California, and they surprised me. I was watching TV, and I saw these 4 girls walk in, and I'm looking at them, and to myself, who are these, and come to find out my daughters. But anyway, it was just great, and I wish everybody had a great time. Lots of luck to you. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Youth Council Liaison Camacho?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like to congratulate the police department on their gold standard accreditation, and thank you to the Girl Scouts. That's it.
Thank you. Lots of things to be thankful for, lots of things to be proud of in the city of Peoria. I have one thing to add, and that is a week from Friday, I am having my second morning with the mayor. That's an opportunity for people to come and just have some quiet time with me and ask questions in a small, environment. Anything that you want to let me know, anything you want to comment on or ask me about, I am there for you for that period of time. It will be on Friday, September 18th at the Lynx Restaurant at Westbrook Village. I'll be buying coffee, so come on by and make yourself comfortable. We'll have a chat. With that, we are adjourned.